Welcome back, Comic Collectors. Like as you see another episode of Kurbz Garage. A little bit different video, kind of showing you my diorama slash race car museum historic stories, whatnot. This is, of course, the scene where Jesse gets shot by the Johnny Tran and his cousin. There's the Charger in the background, Brian blocking him. And I just put that little train there as a kind of a thing where they jump at the end of the movie. And then here in the background, we got the famous tuna sandwich market and cafe. You know that scene when Brian tries to get the sandwich versus his truck. Here's a little American Graffiti. And Susan Summers there with her light pink T-Bird, the Impala, some of the cars from the movie. Some cars just thought they would fit in. Got most of these ones in the middle row I got from Ewitz, which I thought worked pretty cool. And these ones back here on the left also. And then I got some Hall of Fame cars, which are cool. They got really good stories with them, like the 24-hour Daytona one right there, the Danka, and also the silver car Cadillac are pretty cool. And also the Jaguar Type D. And then here, so in 1975, 76, 77, the NHRA Funny Car Championships were won by Don the Snake Prudhomme. And in 1978, he met up with Mongoose in the finals. So it wasn't one of those Snake and Mongoose kind of pre-set races. It was one where they actually had to compete against other cars, other competitors, and all the way to the finals, kind of like a round robin type situation. So they ended up meeting in the finals, and days before, Tom McEwen's son passed away from his fight against leukemia, and all his son wanted him to do was win Indianapolis and beat Snake, and the Mongoose won, and that's why it's very historic, very touching. And those were actually the cars, if you see the movie Mongoose and Snake, it's those are the cars you'll see. The same tampos and everything. Okay. Moving on, there's just some Chevrolets. I like that NHRA Chevrolet there, so that's why I kind of put them there. And then, let's see here, move on. We got the, I think it's the Lickety 6. This was a famous car that was a 6-wheel that never really caught on. It didn't win anything, although it was very fast and had a pretty good idea, but it never really took off. This right here is the story of Bumpergate. Bobby Allison in 1985, the Daytona 500. Before the race, the official said his bumper was too low, so they had to spot weld it and take it off and raise it up. And as he was racing, mid-pack, whatever, his bumper fell off, and then all of a sudden he was just flying, flew across the track, blew everybody away, and won that race that day. And what's his name, Carl Yarborough, and some of the other racers were not happy about it. Okay, over here in this little diorama, it's kind of hard to see, but it's the kind of the beginning of the 1966 Le Mans, where the Ford v Ferrari movie takes place. And what's just to point out that I do 100 times is Ken Miles there, McLaren is there. These are first, second, and then third is the number 5, which was actually number 9 down the way there. And because of that gap, McLaren ended up being the winner. So there's that. And then let's see here, the next year, the 1967, they brought out the Mach 4, driven by Dan Gurney and A.J. Foyt, the number 1 car here. And that was cool, so they won the second year. And then in 1968, the number 9 with the Golf livery was driven by Pedro Rodriguez. And then the number 6 in 1969 was driven by a pair of jackies, Jackie Icky and Jackie Oliver. I hope I said their names right. And then in that third place in 1969 was this number 7 by David Hobbs. This car here, the white enamel car, is the Hot Wheels Ford J car, which is the car that Ken Miles died driving, test driving in Riverside. And what's super interesting about this car is 1968 was Hot Wheels' first year, so it's part of the Sweet 16, and all those castings that came out were Spectraflame paint, and they made this one with Spectraflame paint as well, but they also made it in a white enamel as a nod to Ken Miles, so that's really cool. And then in 1967, Ferrari decided, or they wanted to pay back Ford for doing the 1-2-3 finish in their home race, Le Mans. So they went to the 24-hour Daytona, and they basically did the same thing and finished first, second, third in a 3-way finish, just like this. The number 23 was a 330 P3 P4, which officially finished first. The number 24 is a 330 P4 that finished second. And then the number 3 there was actually a number 26 412P Ferrari, but they don't make one in a 1/64 scale, so I just have that one there for its place until they do. This here, let's see if we can focus on it a little better. This here is the 2016 Ford GT that raced 50 years at Le Mans. So 50 years later, they went out there, they built this in a 2-year period and ended up winning 50 years later. Okay, let's see over here. Did we pass this up over here? The Mazda rotary engine. Let's see, this was, let me talk about this one. Hold on. 787B, 1991 Le Mans, had a 2.6 liter 4-rotor engine, 700 horsepower, and it won first Japanese team ever to win Le Mans, and the whole country was up watching this race, so pretty unique. And then after it, they banned it, and they kind of went to I don't know if it's NASCAR rules, but they went to where every car has to basically have the same engine. Because before that, it was like a bunch of mad scientists just putting whatever they can together to win. And so that was the end of that. But there it is. There's on the left there is the Super Treasure Hunt. And I have every casting of that Mazda 787B all right there. So proud to have that. Oh, and then this guy here. This is what they call the drug Porsche, and this is when was this? The drug Porsche, 1979. Kremer Porsche 935 K3. Don and Bill Whittington were these kind of like action junkie guys, and they had planes and raced everything. Anyhow, they drove to Le Mans, and back then you could pay to race because you needed three drivers to race because of the 24 hours. And so the Kramer said, yeah, 20 grand each to race. And so they put out 40 grand, paid them cash. And when they had their meeting of who was going to race first and all that, Kramer said, well, I'm going to have my pro racer Klaus Ludwig start, and then you, and then you. And they said, no, what if he wrecks the car? Then we're out of 40 grand. How can we race first? And Kramer was joking. He said, oh, you got to buy the car. And they said, well, how much? And he just threw out a silly number thinking they wouldn't buy it. He said, 200K. And they go, all right. So they went to their RV, picked out a duffel bag full of cash, paid him right there 200K, and they ended up winning Le Mans that year. So that was pretty funny. Let's see what else we got. Is that it? Well, here's the rest of it. We got a little Indy corner there, or Formula One. There's some cars going around the corner, and there's the racetrack downhill. Eventually I'll get this oval going for my Sizzlers to get them kind of running around. And that's it. Hope you enjoyed. Have a great Sunday. Peace out.